as the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Thought pay-per-views and PLEs were so nice, we'll do them twice. Back-to-back weekends for the UFC, and back-to-back moments for some veterans, proving that they deserve to be in some all-time conversations. Let's begin our fight recaps with UFC 325. Alex Volkanovski looked like one of the greatest of all time at the featherweight division, then had a bit of a falling off, and then comes back and puts on the performance of a lifetime in back-to-back fights. Let's talk about Alex Volkanovski lighting the world on fire once again at UFC 325. All right, the UFC's featherweight might be GOAT put on another good show this weekend. So we'll get to that here in a sec. Toxic in the chat asking, have you talked about the Royal Rumble or you fell asleep while watching it? So Toxic, not a big fan of the Rumble. We have not talked wrestling yet, Toxic. For the live stream, that's coming up here in just a little bit. But for UFC 325, the main takeaway, super hot take. Get ready for it. Alex Volkanovski is just too good. Like, he is so good. It's an elite mix of techniques with speed, with precision, with explosiveness. He's short, but somehow feels like he constantly has the reach advantage. He is the smaller guy generally, but somehow gets the strength advantage. It is a remarkable amount of skill that human being possesses. And when you, like, this is one of those lame things that they say, but when you combine the skill with the will, this is what comes out. When you have someone who has just elite level talents and also they work their ass off all the time, it plops out an Alex Volkanovski, and just another great performance over the weekend. There isn't a whole lot to say. Like, we know how good this guy is, and he remained very good. I don't think a win over Diego Lopez changes his lot in life in terms of all-time pound for pound or anything like that, but just another great performance from Alex Volkanovski. On the Diego Lopez front, because I think this one is a little bit more interesting to talk about, I think this showed he's just not on this level. And we'll talk a bit more in depth about UFC 324 here in a second, but I think what this shows, it's very similar to what Patty showed. It's that this fighter deserves to be at this level, but this level does feel like it is one or two short of that ultimate goal that these guys are chasing, and that is to be a champion and to be considered the best in the world at their weight class, or just the best in the world overall. I think Patty against Gaethje and then Lopez against Volkanovski showed that these are good, exciting fighters who deserve to be in conversations for title shots. But it also showed that once they get there, there's another level that they just aren't at. And for Lopez, I don't know. Like, I thought we would see him grow from the first fight, but I wonder if it's a ceiling, which is fine. Like, that's a really good ceiling. Most have their ceiling come up short of being Alex Volkanovski. That is a ceiling that most will come up to at some point. But I thought for a second fight in a row, he struggled early to find the range. He couldn't find the accuracy. Obviously some exceptions to this, but he couldn't figure Volkanovski out. And I said this with Aaron Bronstetter when I chatted with him on Sportsnet radio out here in Calgary this week. It felt like Lopez was really close to catching Volk the first time. But if you work up to get to that, well, you're screwed because Volk has figured you out from 25 minutes, and now you're chasing ghosts. And he is at a level that you can't even, like, if you're just catching up to where he was last fight, then you're well behind. And it felt like that's what it was. And he wasn't ready for the feints. He wasn't, again, in control of that distance, even though it feels like he has the height and reach advantage when he's in that cage against Volkanovski. So the fact that it was a lot of the same problems from the first fight that were showing up in this one, it gives me pause for what Lopez could be in the future. I don't know if he's going to get to this Volkanovski level, which again, very few get to, but when that's the ultimate goal, it's a tough one. So we'll see if there can be more growth for Lopez. Exciting fighter, very good fighter, but I don't know if he is at this point with this guy. And I don't know if he's ever going to get necessarily to that spot either. So those are my thoughts on the main event, UFC 325. Am I being a little bit too harsh on poor Diego Lopez? Let me know in the comments, and we can chat about that a little bit more as we're going on. Sorry, I'm getting having a bit of a technical issue right now with my mouse. It's kind of a little all over the place. Just give me one sec. Sorry. I don't know where that ended up. All right. Anyway, so UFC 325, that conversation now in the books.